Right out of school, I took a job with a financial firm as a financial advisor, and about 2 years into that, 3 years into that, I kind of had an epiphany and knew that I wanted to open a restaurant. So I took the steps in order to do that, going back to school and taking some jobs with restaurants, running restaurants, working at a private club, running multiple restaurants, until I had an opportunity to open. I felt comfortable running a restaurant now that it's going to be my own money and all my time. And we had an opportunity come up that we could do that, my wife and I. It becomes part of you. I mean, you, when you're there or not, you're living with your business. And it's a labor of love. I mean, you work harder. I worked harder than I ever had in my life, but I loved it. I loved going to work every day. I loved my staff. I loved my customers. I loved what I was actually doing for a living, so to speak, which was cooking and cooking for people. And then last year, about this time, we knew that our lease was coming up, and we had a decision to make. We could try and buy the building that we were leasing. We had an option to lease the building for another 5 years. Or we could look for another space, or we could shut it down. With a lot of discussions with family, with each other, my wife and I, with God, and just a lot of thoughts, late night thinking, we decided to close it down. And I think the important thing was that at the time I was at peace with it. We searched all of our options and really thought it through hard. And just for a quality of life, it was a great decision. I love the company I'm working for now. I love what I'm doing now. I didn't think that I would want to do something else, but I'm so much happier at this point. Reason being, when you're inside that position or inside the world that you're living, you don't really see other opportunities or see what else is going on. And now looking back and seeing how much time and stress and effort was being put into running that business, and how I was missing out on so many other things, family, friends, events, and just time to myself, which I never had. It was really a great decision. Around the neighborhood, and again, we lived in the neighborhood, I was very well known, and what I was the chef. I was the chef at Mathew's Kitchen. So neighborhood events and so forth, I was always asked to participate in cooking or be associated with the restaurant. So I still have kind of that, because we still live in that community, still kind of have that identity. And I'm not totally out of cooking and so forth. So, finding this job, I was very lucky, because I get to kind of bring back both worlds of my career, of the business side of it and the restaurant side of it. So I get to utilize both of those things. Look at all your options. Don't second guess your decision. When you look at all your different opportunities and you weigh out all the pros and cons and make an educated, good decision, I think you'll be more peace of mind with that decision, whether it's to stay open or whether it's to close and move on to something else. Take a step outside of your world that you're living, because sometimes, again, you're so engrossed in what you're doing, you just keep doing it, and you don't really look at the big picture. So take a step out and say, is this the best thing for my career right now? Am I working too much for what I'm making? Which in that case, I definitely was. When you're working 70, 80, 90 hours a week, you go down to see what your hourly rate or wages, and you're thinking, that doesn't seem right. And can I capitalize on my experiences as a business owner to get a better opportunity, which is exactly what I did.